late afternoon. The golden sunlight slid across the surface of San Francisco Bay like someone had gilded the water with liquid gold. Layla Pierce stood in front of the mirror inside the yacht's cabin, zipping up her black dress. No stylist, no assistant. She did everything the way she had built her company, alone, meticulous, and never needing anyone to validate her worth. The embossed invitation card bore her name, CEO of Novalife, a healthcare AI startup shaking the foundations of frontline hospitals. Her software had already saved thousands of lives by detecting illness earlier than even the most seasoned doctors. And now, a $400 million acquisition deal awaited her signature. Layla wasn't rushing. She spritzed perfume and chose a pair of round earrings. Her eyes in the mirror were steady, but as her lips touched the edge of a crystal glass on her vanity, a quiet question flickered in her mind. If Mom were still here, would she tell me to sign or walk away? The yacht lights lit up. Outside, Silicon Valley's finest investors raised their glasses, but Layla stood still, because tonight she needed to listen, and sometimes just one sentence could change everything. 90 days ago, a power map and a blood-stained company. Layla Pierce was the last name anyone expected to make history. Born in Oakland. Her father left when she was 3. Her mother was a night shift nurse, the kind of woman who once told her, "If you want to heal someone, learn to hear what machines can't detect." Layla excelled early, but she also learned to walk through whispers in the classroom. How did she get a STEM scholarship? Probably just the school wanting a black girl on the brochure. She graduated from MIT with a degree in healthcare AI. Worked at a research institute where she developed an algorithm that could predict heart failure 72 hours earlier than standard protocols. But the idea was shelved by her supervisor, then reappeared in another product under someone else's name. Layla left, alone. No patents, no seed funding. 3 months later, she launched Novalife, a proper garage startup based in a 2-bedroom apartment powered by a hand-me-down server, and a dream no one believed in. 3 months ago, a CEO. No one wanted to believe Layla tapped her glass 3 times. The 10-square-meter meeting room fell into silence. A whiteboard stood in the center, scrawled in messy marker. Predictive diagnosis, AI, 83.7% accuracy. Phase 2, seed round $2 million. In front of Layla sat 3 angel investors. One adjusted his watch, another scrolled through his phone. The third one leaned forward. "You said your tech team only has 3 people." "Correct, 2 engineers and myself." "No male engineers?" "No." "Any prior startup exits?" "Number, but we did." "Stop." The man raised his hand, cutting her off. "Good idea, but this team can't scale." They left the room like they'd just reviewed a faulty prototype. Layla didn't say a word. She tore the proposal in half, tucked it into her tote bag, and bowed slightly as the last one walked out. None of them knew that this too-small product would detect an early stroke risk in a 56-year-old patient, just 1 week later, in a small test hospital in Texas. 10 days later, a 3 a.m. phone call. Layla jolted upright. Her eyes are still blurry. "Novalife A, I just sent an abnormal signal. Patient 493A, cranial blood pressure above threshold in the model." She called the on-duty doctor. The machines showed normal. But Layla insisted, "The AI learns from micro-patterns. Don't ignore this." 15 minutes later, the patient suffered a minor stroke. He was treated in time, regained consciousness 2 days later. The first thing he said to his wife, "I think we should take that trip. We might not have had another chance." Layla never told the press. She simply added one line to the internal journal. The first time AI touched real time and won. 2 months ago, a deal table with a metallic aftertaste. Layla was invited to a resort in Napa Valley for a closed-door summit of female CEOs in health tech. Among 23 attendees, only 3 were women of color. Of those 3, only one sat at the far end of the table, her. A voice rang out from the CEO of a major pharma tech firm. "We truly admire how you've handled your data. If you agree to merge, Novalife could become our AI division. You'd retain your role as CTO." Layla asked, "And CEO? We have a COO lined up for that. You're young. Just focus on the tech. Don't make it harder than it needs to be." They laughed. Layla didn't. She looked into her wine glass, then set it down. "I didn't build Novalife to be someone's right hand. I built it because I once held my mother's hand after she died from 3 wrong diagnoses." The room went quiet. 1 week ago, the Yacht invitation. "This event is for those ready to let go of the wheel," the invite read. Layla understood the message. It was a deal closing party. A send-off for CEOs about to hand over control in exchange for generational wealth. Her replacement had already been informally chosen. Still, she went. Not to toast, but to listen. The yacht glided slowly across the bay like a silver ribbon stretched between sea and sky. Soft jazz drifted from hidden speakers in the wooden ceiling, mingling with the scent of seafood and expensive perfume, an unspoken ritual woven into the air. Men in tuxedos held flutes of champagne, their Richard Mille watches gleaming as their hands moved with the subtlety of someone signing an IPO with a gesture. Layla stepped onto the deck just as night descended. Her black dress didn't shimmer, no fringe, no plunging neckline. It carried only one thing no gaze could ignore: absolute self-possession. A silver-haired man approached. His eyes are sharp like a scalpel. A glass of amber cognac swirled slowly in his hand. "Layla Pierce," he said, skipping pleasantries. "I've read your technical report. Impressive. Gotta say, your tech makes some of the MIT boys blush." Layla nodded once. "I know." She didn't smile. The words sliced through the flattery like a scalpel through soft flesh. The man paused for a beat, then chuckled. "Good. I like people who know where they stand." Then he turned away, unaware Layla was still behind him. A murmur, barely louder than the waves. "She's brilliant, sure. But people like her always have to yield in the end. The key is making her think she's choosing it." Cognac touched his lips. He didn't know she'd heard every word. Layla didn't flinch. She stared at the back of his neck, where a gleaming gold insignia peeked from under the collar. Altera Partners, M&A Division. $400 million. 2% executive equity, an honorary board seat. A peaceful future, as he called it. She pulled out her phone, typed a single line to her assistant. "Stop all negotiations. Internal statement going out tomorrow." Then she pocketed the phone and descended the back stairwell of the yacht, where there were no toasts, no lights. The next morning, headlines hit like July hail. CEO Layla Pierce walks away from $400 million deal moments before signing. Novalife halts Series B, announces internal values reassessment. While the board scrambled in crisis mode, Layla sent one internal memo. No logo, no headline, just words. "I walked away because no one should sign a contract when the people across the table believe they can program your worth like a line of code." That message was forwarded across hundreds of inboxes. Among those who read it was a young medical student struggling to finish her thesis on AI and healthcare from a cold dorm room. She stared at the words, then copied them into her notebook in red ink. No value is truly great if it forces you to bow your head when lifting it is what you do best. Layla woke up in a modest hotel room in Marin County, nearly an hour's drive from San Francisco. No champagne, no black dress, just a laptop, and her bare face staring back from the mirror. Her phone was buzzing nonstop. Breaking. Novalife CEO leaves $400 million deal on the table. Bold or foolish? Why did Layla Pierce walk away? Sources say investor group furious at last-minute reversal. She didn't respond to the press. No LinkedIn posts, no statements. Instead, she opened a draft email she'd written days before. Subject, change of plan, we're not selling. 2, core team, Novalife. They asked me, why not hand the wheel to someone who's already taken a company public? I had the answer but waited until this morning to say it. We don't need anyone else to drive. I'll be leading Novalife to Series B, but this time not to be valued higher, but to redefine what value means when kindness is built into technology. Layla. The doors of Novalife HQ opened earlier than usual that morning. No tension in the air like before. Instead, the smell of fresh coffee, a few new plants in the corners, and a framed quote in italic calligraphy hanging in the hallway. We don't build AI to replace doctors. We build AI so doctors don't have to be gods. Layla stepped in and saw Rachel, a new engineer, tweaking the user interface. Rachel smiled. You're back? Layla nodded. I never really left. She glanced at the dashboard. The system was now live at 3 major hospitals. Feedback was strong, but more importantly, real emails from real doctors are needed. One had written, "Thanks for helping me sleep easier during night shifts." A Stanford student wrote in her blog that night, "Yesterday, Layla Pierce came to speak. She wasn't inspiring in the usual way. No fundraising talk, no motivational cliches. She simply said, 'If my mother were still alive, she wouldn't want me to sign a deal that turns my name into a CTO title.' Then she asked, 'What's your price? And are you ready to say no to anything less? I don't know what the future holds, but I know what I won't settle for anymore.'" The blog post was shared hundreds of thousands of times. Layla never reposted it, but she received a private message from another founder. "I was about to sign a deal today. Then I read that post and stopped. Thanks for listening to the voice the rest of us forgot we had." 2 months later, not a closing, but an opening, Novalife's Series B round began. The old investors were gone, but new names stepped in, those who had once been overlooked, like her. The first venture fund to send a proposal wrote, "We don't believe in units of profit. We believe in units of impact, and Novalife is impacted." Layla nodded. She didn't write back, "We're happy to partner." She simply wrote, "I won't say no if you're here not to price us, but to help redefine what price even means." The night before the Series B announcement, Layla was alone again at the office. She reopened her journal, turned to the last page, and added one line. "If a woman can walk away from $400 million over one disrespectful sentence, then maybe the world will finally learn how to value dignity." She closed the notebook, turned off the lights. No applause, no spotlight. Just one quiet truth Layla now knew for sure. For the first time, she didn't have to sell a thing. And no one could put a price on her ever again. Rumors